All right, let's talk pastry. We've all been there, right? You're scrolling online, you see a picture of a perfect croissant or this unbelievably flaky pie crust, and you just wonder, how in the world do they do that? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that quest for the perfect, golden brown, shatteringly crisp pastry. So what is the big secret? Is it some fancy expensive flour, a super complicated French technique that takes years to master? Turns out, the answer is way simpler. And it's not about technique, it's about science. Specifically, what's happening inside your oven. You see, the most critical decision you're going to make has nothing to do with the ingredients you pick. It all comes down to the temperature you set. The entire difference, the whole difference, between a sad, soggy pastry and a light, flaky masterpiece is hiding right there on your oven's thermostat.
Okay, so let's get into it by looking at a super common mistake a lot of us make. We go low and slow. We think we're being gentle with our dough, but what we're actually doing is setting ourselves up for a pretty disappointing result. So picture this. You've got your dough perfectly chilled. It's packed with all these nice little pockets of cold butter. You pop it into a kind of cool oven, maybe 325 Fahrenheit, which is about 160 Celsius. So what's really going on in there?
Well, at this low temperature, a pretty disastrous chain reaction starts to happen. First, that butter, the fat that's supposed to create all our layers, it just starts to melt, really gradually, and it leaks out before the water in the dough even gets hot enough to turn into steam. And without that big, powerful burst of steam, you get almost no lift. The pastry just kind of sits there.
And the outcome? Well, you get a pastry that's dense. It's soft, not light and crisp. This right here is the science behind the dreaded soggy bottom on your pie crust. It's why a croissant can sometimes feel more like a dinner roll. Just a tragic end for what started as really promising dough.
But hey, don't worry. The fix for this is actually beautifully simple. It's all about cranking up that heat. We're going to completely transform the result and unlock the secret path to true, amazing flakiness. And we're not talking about a small bump in temperature here. No, we're going to blast that cold dough with some serious high heat. We're talking around 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 Celsius. This aggressive approach is exactly what our pastry's been waiting for.
Okay, now this is where the magic happens. It's all about the order of operations. That intense heat hits the dough and bam, the water turns into steam almost instantly. The steam expands like crazy, forcing those dough layers apart before the butter has a chance to fully melt and leak out. So, here's the absolute crucial point. Steam is your engine. It provides the lift. The faster and more powerfully that steam is created, the more dramatic the puff, and the more of those delicate, airy pockets you get that we all want in a perfect pastry. And the result is, well, it's everything we're looking for, right? A pastry that's beautifully puffed up, unbelievably flaky, perfectly crisp, and golden brown. This is the texture we dream about, and all it took was using heat the right way. So let's put these two methods right next to each other for a little scientific showdown. When you look at them, the ingredients are exactly the same, but what's happening on a scientific level, they are worlds apart.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, with the low temp, the fat just slowly melts out first and you get a dense, heavy result. But over on the right, with high temp, that steam forms first, puffing the dough up like a balloon before the fat even melts. It's the same ingredients, just totally different physics leading to wildly different pastries. Okay, so after all that science, what does this actually mean for you, in your kitchen, the next time you want to bake something amazing? Let's just boil this all down to your new rules for success.
It really all comes down to this. 1, start with very cold fat, because that's what creates all those potential layers. 2, hit it with high heat to create that powerful rapid steam you need for lift. And 3, just remember that low heat is your enemy. It melts the fat too early and gives you dense pastry. So, the big secret? It's just 4 words. Cold dough, hot oven. It really is that simple. So there you have it. You've got the science. You know the thermal secrets behind that perfect, flaky pastry. The only question left is, what are you going to bake first? Now that you know the secret, the possibilities are endless.